And I have Carrie and Dave with me and another live broadcast. We're going to go over an investigation. So, Carrie, how you doing today?
Hanging in there.
Carrie's in Utah with me now. Dave, how are you doing? You're over in Scotland, so
Yeah, doing good. Doing good, guys.
it's in the evening time there, right?
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Cordell, I don't see us on Facebook. Says
It's this is YouTube.
our YouTube. Yeah, it says waiting. Up there, we're in now. Okay.
All right, let's start it all over again. Hey, this is Cordell with Paranormal Pulse. The broadcast seems to be delayed somewhat. And we're here for another Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening in Scotland. Got Carrie and Dave with me. And I'm repeating myself because apparently when it said we went live, we actually didn't go live. But we're live now. And Carrie's doing good, and Dave over in Scotland's doing good. All three of us had snow in Scotland, snow in Utah. Great February here. So anyway, real quick, Carrie, everything doing good? What's going on? Anything?
Just dealing with the new puppy in the house.
New puppy. Yeah,
Puppy.
I got a four-legged furry beast behind me. And speaking of four-legged furry beasts, how are you doing, Dave?
Yeah, doing good, Cordell. Doing good.
Good. No, are you guys enjoying these broadcasts? I am. I find it fun, and hopefully you guys are doing it. Hey, woo! We got.
That's my daughter, Katie.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Katie.
Hey, Katie. Fright Plays. That's
Hey, darling.
Yeah, Dad's on the on the internet. So today we have we were going to go over an investigation that we've done many times, 20 plus, somewhere between 20 and 30 times, I guess. Carrie, I've lost track. How many times have we done Roosters?
Plenty. It was years worth of, several years of going.
Yeah.
And go ahead, Dave.
And I was just going to say, I'm not sure how many times I went. Hi, Katie. I'm not sure how many times I went because it was always a
late
kind of 1 a.m. start, wasn't it?
Yeah.
By the time we drove there, and yeah, it was a long night. I remember.
Well, what was interesting, it's funny about what you just said, Dave, because me and Carrie would show up there. They'd say, oh, well, you can probably start doing stuff around 11:30, 12. We would always get there at 10 o'clock or so, somewhere around there, 10:30. We end up really not investigating till, like you said, like 1 o'clock. So it happened every time.
Yeah.
But so real quick, I got some photos, some videos, some clips, and to play and just show. But real quick, Carrie, so what's your thoughts on Roosters in Ogden, Utah? What's your just overall summary of it?
It's got some great history and what the building was in the past, how it started. I do think there's some low level activity in there, but nothing that's nothing scary, nothing. It's just like a low level activity.
Okay.
Okay.
Dave, what's your feeling on it? I think, Dave, you were there probably at least 4 times, I believe.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I mean, the reasons why we went there, well, the reasons why the client, kind of all the things the client had indicated, we never, well, I never captured or caught anything on that. Stairs, kind of footsteps upstairs, things like that. Great history. I mean, Ogden's just it is the Wild West. It's a really historical place. Great bar, great venue. I think probably agreeing with Carrie is not so much nothing visual, really just a number of audio, unexplained audio coming from the upstairs areas, mainly, and a couple of interesting EVPs. I think that kind of sums up my investigation of Roosters.
Both. Hey, great guys. That those were good summaries. I mean, it's interesting, and I would label this kind of the average investigation far as activity goes. In the scale, you have the really investigations that are just over the top and all kinds of stuff happens. Then you have the medium, mid tier, and then you have the low level. I would put this on, I don't know, probably mid tier. We had stuff happen. We had some shadowing occurring on the third floor. A lot of noises. Some of it was building noises. It took us a while because it's a bar, guys. It's a restaurant bar. Took a while to get used to all the noises emanating from the first floor with the brewery because they brew beer on site. And I put up a picture of the outside. The building, and maybe Carrie can speak to this a little bit. The building has a lot of history and goes way back. And the third floor, guys, where we seem to have most of the activity on any given investigation, at one time was apartments. People lived up there. And maybe Carrie can jump in
It
here.
was like Salvation Army. At one time, it was a Chinese dry goods, I think, and furniture store and Salvation Army. So it's been a hodgepodge of stuff. They said it was Kansas liquor store or something like that, I think, but I could never find anything to back that up. So it's been several things.
Yeah, and these are what I'm showing right now is just some older pictures of Ogden that are really old. 25th. These are all supposed to be 25th Street. I just wanted to give an overview of 25th Street.
Ties in with a lumber yard or something too.
Yeah, and for people out there, Ogden, Utah, 25th Street has just a lot of history. And we've investigated a dozen different places on 25th Street. And we've had places.
Hi, Bob.
Oh, and Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Hey, Bob. How's it going? Yeah, this is one area Bob never went to. Bob,
he was too scared.
Too scared. Sorry, excuse me. So we investigated a lot on 25th Street. There's a lot of places that had, I would say, more activity. But I would, like I said, I would give this kind of an average investigation, this location. And because we picked up stuff every time we went.
Not every time.
Well, pretty close. I mean, we had experiences there. A lot of shadowing. People claim to have seen shadows I saw them on the third floor in that hallway, Carrie, and I think you did too. But nothing we can say, oh, this is 100% paranormal. It's one big family, guys. One big family.
Hey. Yeah. My daughter's going to follow in my footsteps. Like she's going to be a paranormal investigator. I'm sure she is.
Good.
So
actually, Cordell, but on that note, I think also, especially for the viewers or anybody who's thinking of investigating it, it is exactly what you say. It's on the street. A lot of windows, a lot of light. Therefore, shadow play, sounds. You really have to understand what's happening outside because there can be a lot of traffic even early in the morning. Especially when people come back from bars, etc.
And Dave, you just reminded me that
what you'll see outside.
I was going to say, Carrie, we saw
Yeah,
more strange and scary activity outside than we did inside.
yeah.
Um,
Well, that's the point. Yeah,
yeah, along 25th Street at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. Um, it's it's an area of town that you don't want to be walking down the street at 3 in the morning. That's for sure
yeah,
by yourself.
You used to have the smell of the bakery too, which would come in, and so there was, like Dave said, there were all kinds of smells and sounds.
Um, well, go ahead, keep talking. I'm showing some pictures here. These
Like
are these are pictures of investigations. This
a
is on the second
second
floor.
floor.
Yeah, go ahead and
Yeah, I mean the bars are supposed to shut down at 2, but everybody just goes outside in the street until 3:30 or 4 until the cops chase them away. So there is a lot of noise contamination, light contamination. So you really have to be careful how you place things and how you're marking it and time stamping it.
yeah.
There's a lot of that was outside.
and this is the back room on the second floor, right, Carrie?
Yes.
This is a full spectrum camera, so I just was going to show. And there's Curry, and I think this was my last investigation at Roosters.
It was all of ours.
Was it?
Yeah.
What, 2017 was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't gone back. It just got to be just too late, and time you get things set up, you didn't really have time to investigate.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't something that was like, hey, I got to keep going back, because it was just.
Yeah.
Well, it was a good place to go. It was kind of one of our go-to things when we wanted to investigate.
Great people.
Oh no, fantastic. The owners actually went on an investigation with us. It was the people were great. They treated us wonderful. No free beer though. Didn't get to drink all night while we investigated. We probably would have went more often if we could. But I wanted to show this picture. It's one of my favorite pictures. It's looking out towards 25th Street from the second floor. I just like the picture. But now what we're going to do is I'm going to set up an audio clip, and we'll start in on some of what we captured. And to let everybody know, some of this is marginal to really good. So there's a variety of stuff here. And let me set this first one up. So Dave, since you only went there probably about 4 times, I think, somewhere around there, what did you think about investigating there?
Khalil, I think it was all, by the time you got in, you set up your equipment, it was about 2:30, and you try to cram as much in as you could. I think a lot of lower level stuff, but whether that's kind of external influences or it could have been tiredness, it's tough to say. I know we did get a couple of decent EVPs from there, but once again, from a investigative perspective, I think it was kind of lowish level from my experience.
Real quick, also, we talked about the noises outside. You're talking about they're brewing their own beer. So the noises inside was a battle. The basement was just it was so loud down there you couldn't run anything. So that there were certain rooms that required the office upstairs, the computers going and all that, put out a major hum and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
there were areas that were almost impossible to investigate properly.
And I will second that. And the worst place was the basement.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to go to the basement and investigate the basement, and we hit the basement pretty hard over the years. But the EMF and the noise and the hum of electricity
The
and
smell of
it was horrible down in the basement. And I had audio guys that I literally could not even use. I couldn't even listen to because it was so bad at times. What was that?
That's your Valentine's Day gift.
Oh, you know what? Happy Valentine's Day.
You know, that was a present from Katie. I just thought I'd show it.
Oh,
But Carrie, happy Valentine's Day.
happy
Dave
Valentine's Day.
and
Oh,
Katie.
that's cute, Katie.
Katie, happy Valentine's Day. Bob, happy Valentine's Day. I glad you mentioned. I totally forgot all about it. That tells you how horrible I am. Jeez. Happy Valentine's.
I only do it for my grandbaby.
Well, between us, since it's just the three of us here and nobody else, I always call it Florist Day, right? Because that's what it is. It's like buy some flowers.
Moneymaker Day.
Yeah, it's candy and flower day, and support your local florist and the candy shop. The flowers will be dead in 4 or 5 days, and throw them out. Yeah. So anyway, that's enough about Anyway, happy Valentine's Day, guys. Okay, so let's listen to this clip, and this is an old one. This one goes back to, I think, one of our first investigations there. And matter of fact, Carrie, it's so old from our members app. The file is 877. So this goes back to like 2011, I think. So anyway, so I'm gonna play it. Let me make sure I got everything set up, guys. Okay, let's play it. And those in the stream, please let us know in the chat if you can hear it. So what I'll do is play it through once, and I'll eventually highlight the EVP part. And I apologize in advance because I don't remember what this one is. I honestly don't. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad or marginal. We all agreed on this one, so here we go. Oh, there's Jerry. Door. Sorry. Where's the what? Okay, did you guys hear it?
I heard it, yeah. Maybe it could do with a bit. Actually, I'll turn my volume up instead.
Okay, well, I'm turning it up on here a little bit. I have some control on these audio files. So let me play it through one more time, and you'll hear Carrie's voice. Oh, there's Jerry. Where's the door? Sorry. Where's the what? Okay, so right here is the EVP. And let me play just the EVP. And again, this is what I would call marginal. And this is actually...
I don't hear anything.
Oh, you don't? Do you hear anything, Dave?
Yeah, it sounds like the witch of the Wizard of Oz, like that.
You're hitting the clip that I'm hearing. Play it again, because I don't think the clip.
Hey, sorry, I'm laughing about Bob's comment to Dave.
Because in the whole clip, I thought I heard it sounded like Dave said, but the clip the point you're doing, I don't hear it.
Oh,
all right.
And
listen.
The what, Dave?
If it's what I think it is, or I could have picked up another EVP within that.
Okay, I'll play the whole thing again.
Yeah, I'll put my ear next to the computer.
Oh, there's Jerry.
Where's the door? Sorry.
Where's the what?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, right here.
yeah.
Let me play this. Let me just play the EVP.
It's fairly marginal there.
I
Yeah.
don't hear that way. I'm not hearing it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, this one I think we rated a 2 out of 5, 2-star.
Yeah, it's
It sounds
pretty
like
low.
two voices here. This is from 2011. So go ahead and talk about that EVP. I'm going to queue up hopefully a better one here.
But I think it does. I think early on, we did just try to capture everything we could. And I know, like, kind of as the years went on, we got a bit more selective and a bit more snobbish when it came to, we'd only keep the better, clear EVPs. But I think initially we captured everything just so we could learn the sound environment.
But when you go back and you're capturing the same sounds in the same place and almost identical, and then being able to associate the building noises, there were things that were on timers that would go off and on, and
Sorry, that was
yeah, alone the smells that were coming through. Well, there was hops. There was that really hopsy smell. And then the back in the basement where we called the meat cutter room had raw meat smell.
Well, the basement had, for me, the worst smells was the basement.
Yeah.
Yeah. The basement was definitely in one half of the basement.
It was a little puzzle. It was a basement that was dark, that was extremely loud, that had smells, and you would go down many halls to go upstairs. So it was just kind of a jumbled mess down there.
Actually, I think the basement had that kind of illusion effect, didn't it? Like, kind of as you were walking, I'm sure. Can remember the floor was uneven, and you felt a little bit dizzy in certain areas because it was like a kind of a weird perspective from memory.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's another one, and I didn't do my disclaimer, so I'm going to do it this time. I can't guarantee how loud this will be for those that are watching this later or live now. If you have headphones on, be careful, because I don't know if it's going to come in quiet or loud. I have very little control over that. So let's play this one. And this one is a Carrie clip. And so Carrie clipped this one. So let's see what we get here. That's just
They close that down?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can remove the smells. Cordell, do you copy?
Do you remember this clip, Carrie?
No, I could barely hear it.
Okay, let me turn it up a little bit.
I might have turned mine up.
Here we go.
That's just They close that down? Yeah. Yeah, so I can remove the smells. Cordell, do you copy?
Yeah, there's a
Do you remember this?
male voice.
Was that like blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me highlight it if I remember.
In the basement. Who was it? Jerry in the basement or something?
Yeah, it was you and Jerry, I think.
Remove the smell. Remove the smell. Remove the smell.
I think there's more.
Well,
there's more clear at the end. Yeah.
Right here. Yep, you're absolutely right. Right here. I think. Let's see.
There was something, but then there's almost like there's 3 words.
Yeah.
The what?
There's almost 3 words that are said after I talk or something like that.
And Carrie, we're getting echo, I think, from somebody. Getting some echo. Let's see. So what do you guys think of this one? I can't make out what's being said here. And then there's this right here, I believe.
I think you got to play that whole section.
This whole section?
Yeah, to where you say the last clip is.
Yeah, could I go further?
Yeah.
Yeah, just do the lot. Yeah, why not?
Okay, here we go.
Yeah. I can remember these smells. Cordell, do you copy?
You say there's 1,000 reasons or something like that. I'm hearing that. Oh, I don't know why I'm hearing that.
Yeah, there's multiple voices going on here. Can anybody in the audience actually hear that? Let me play it one more time. Oops. Let me play it one more time, just this part. And then we'll talk about it for a second and I'll queue up another one.
Yeah. Yes, I can remember these smells. Cordell, do you copy?
Yeah, do you hear? You can say that 1,000 times over or something. Listen to it.
Let me play it real quick because this part I find interesting. I hear 1,000 or something.
1,000 times. You can play 1,000 times.
Yeah, I can hear that now. But
Can
but
you
that
hear
could
that?
be no like suggestion though now. But yeah, I can hear 1,000 things or something. Or
So what do you guys think of that clip?
yeah, I mean, because it was so long ago, and I know we normally document everything with the clip. I'm assuming was that just Carrie and Jerry?
I believe it was Jerry and Carrie.
Right.
And it says the clip says bar. She
So
has
maybe
it.
it was at the bar. It
That's
wasn't in
cute.
the basement.
Yeah. So let me break this up. Let's do a video. Let's see. Which one? Oh, we'll do this one. This one. But go ahead. So what would you rate that clip, guys, or what do you think of it?
I mean, compared with a lot of the kind of the clips we kept in later investigations, it was pretty low. Maybe it's a 2 out of 5, something like that.
And I agree. I think we also, as like Dave said, growing in how we do EVP clips and all that. I think we've learned a lot more, so we're putting a lot more scrutiny to what we're getting.
Yeah,
and you get, oh, I've got it. But nowadays we're like, okay, now let's break this down even more. So, I say smells, but so
I'm not sure what Bob's saying there, but
because I say the smells or something down there or there. So I think that we have grown in how we approach it, how we reviews it, even to the equipment that we're using to capture this, as well as to review all this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, our first investigations of a lot of locations, we captured everything just so we could learn what the sounds were. And I know, like we recorded a lot and clipped a lot just in case it came up again in the future and we could reference it. But later we were a lot more selective in what we kept. Only kind of a 4 and a 5 clip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and and that's all good, right? I mean, you need to evolve. You need to when you first start out, you start clipping all kinds of stuff and but yeah, I think that's just evolving as a investigator.
I throw a pound through the window.
So Dave's getting off his jumper, as his uncle would say. Okay, let's watch this video. Let's see. Here we go. Somebody used to own a business here. Okay, guys, did you hear that?
Yeah, were you there by yourself? Were you?
Excuse me?
Were you there by yourself? Do you mean the voice, like about halfway
Me
through?
and Carrie were it was me and Carrie in the back area there.
Right.
So let me play it again and see if anybody can pick out the EVP here. Somebody used to own a business here. Sorry, I had to throw that in. So what do you hear, Dave?
Can you play it again, Cordell?
I think it's losing a lot in this transmission.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't control the volume on the video, so I do apologize in advance. Somebody used to own a business here. And I'll give you a hint, Dave. It's not the last voice. That was Carrie. So do you hear the EVP?
Yeah, I hear something, Cordell. I can't make it out.
Okay, let me just play.
This one to me is if we weren't trying to shove this off over the internet. This is a clear as day EVP.
Let me just play the EVP part.
It's not like evil, is it, or something like that?
No.
Evil.
It's
Evil.
losing a lot of volume. No, it's a man saying, "Excuse me."
Is it?
It is.
Excuse me. Okay.
Yeah, you would think there was another male investigator standing there saying, "Excuse me." How clear it is. Just unfortunately, it's not here.
Yeah, because I can't up the volume on this one, and so that's blame me on that one. But yeah, it's interesting because it's the most polite EVP I think we've ever caught. It literally is somebody. It's almost like me or Carrie's walking, and they walk into us, or we walk by them really close. And he's like, "Oh, excuse me." So he could be a dick, I guess, guys, and say, and he's like, we're walking by him and he's being sarcastic and saying, "Well, excuse me." Or he's very polite.
It had a polite tone to it.
Yeah,
No, I agree. You're going to have to decipher that for me from Bob, Dave. What does...
You said, I've got no idea, Bob. What? I think, Bob, did you mean to type yourself? Or
That's what I thought. It's not Cordell meaning yourself saying it.
Oh, yeah, it's not me. Me and Carrie are together, and it's definitely well, let me play the voice again. Does that come in better at all?
all I know is if that was Ghost Adventures, it would be saying evil.
Oh yeah.
No, I think it would probably be saying, "I'm going to kill you,
Demon.
eat your heart." Sorry. Anyway, we love Ghost Adventures.
Yeah, they'd have it plastered. What did you hear it? It says evil. Evil. Then they'll put it in squiggly pictures and red letters. Evil. Just in case you didn't know what they wanted you to hear.
Well, Robert, and for those that don't know Robert, his name's actually Bob. Are you drinking already? What are you drinking or what? What's going on, Bob? Dave. Anyway, so it's actually really clear. It's out on our website. We've published this clip or this video clip many times. But if you were here on my computer, it's just crystal clear. It's a man saying, "Excuse me," and it's fascinating, guys, because it sets a tone and a mood. It's so crystal clear. It's somebody being polite. It is from the tone. It sounds like, "Oh, hey, excuse me." Um, and I find that fascinating because to me, it's like me and Carrie were the only ones there. Did me and Carrie he step into our space or we walk by him and he's like so polite and everything? And real quick, I want you guys to talk about this because this is the total opposite of evil, right? This is just a person in any given situation that might say excuse me in a crowd or with other people. So what's your guys' thoughts? We'll take Carrie first, then we'll go with Dave.
Well, because I was there and hearing it, and it is extremely clear. I would like to think that maybe for that brief second, whether it was not necessarily that he sees or feels us, maybe it's just even a slight bit of energy or something that they're getting or we're getting, and just for a brief second it crosses and we can say, yeah, he knew we were there and he's telling us excuse us. But just based off of that one, you can't say that. You've got to, I mean, did we capture a part of a conversation he was having with someone else there or whatever? So
Okay,
it was
Dave.
I like it, but there's just still stuff you have to try to go off and base off of it.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. What's your take on it, Dave?
Yeah, Cordell. It's like most things we pick up. It's like everyday conversations from everyday people. Things which may not mean any context or may have context depending on how we interpret that. Yeah, I mean, it could have been a blast from the past, present. I mean, yeah, it's an interesting clip, which also sums up, whatever these things are that we are recording. We do record everyday things. Who are you? Hello.
He could have been saying excuse me to his
Yeah.
girlfriend or whoever there, it's just
Okay, well, we have a request from Bob to play it again. That's why I brought it up again. So we'll go quiet, Bob, and we'll listen here. I'll play the whole thing. Let me give it. Okay, here we go.
Somebody used to own a business here.
Okay, that was for Bob. Did you hear it all? And again, I can't control how the video. I can't control the video audio. Sorry, guys. So I'm going to stop sharing that one. I'm going to tee up another one. So, Bob, what's your thoughts after hearing it again? We're waiting for Bob on this one.
Put pressure's on.
And while we wait, I think I'll do this, guys. I'm going to show a few more pictures from some investigations while we wait for Bob to respond. Here we go. So, again, see, I like these pictures. This is the second floor, guys. That's looking down to dining room. And this is the bar over here, which we have a story about. And I'll play a video here shortly about behind the bar there. That's looking down on the first floor. Really nice place, though. And back here, this is the bar on the first. And behind the bar is their brewery where they brew their beer.
thing, that kitchen was like ice, though. We
Yeah,
only
well,
didn't investigate the kitchen because the floor was so slippery and there's just a lot of danger in there.
It was just so noisy. There was a lot of EMF, a lot of you know, a lot of electrical supplies. Yeah.
and this is the interesting. I wanted to get to this picture here for everybody. Let me go full screen with it. This is the basement stairs going into the basement where we actually did. Um, Again, everybody wanted to investigate. We tried really hard to investigate the basement. It was just so friggin' noisy, though. We really struggled investigating down there. Again, this is just some pictures. That's the kitchen again. It's full spectrum camera. And this bar, it's really beautiful building. The interior is fantastic. They've done a great job um, with it and remodeled it. Yeah, I think it's fantastic. Second floor again, guys. Now, okay. I'm going to stop right there. So we do have a story involving this area, and I'm going to let Carrie describe this area, the picture right there.
There's just like a little bar, a little, what do you call it, like a little wet bar there, and that's a window that goes into this really small room that has a refrigerator in there that holds champagne and things like that, and it has a door that they lock it, so that's the expensive drinks and that, but you can see the fridge through the window. It's not a big room, it's a small room.
Yeah, it's really really small. Yeah, and it's locked, and we've never actually, I can't remember ever going in there. So Dave, you weren't at this investigation. What happened? And I'll get your guys' thoughts on it. So we're there. Everything's fine. The refrigerator's closed. That room's locked. We're investigating, and we go up there, and the refrigerator door is open. The room is locked, and the refrigerator door is open. It wasn't open before, and we actually have video where it shows the refrigerator door was closed. So, and so I have a little video that we did when we found that the door was open, because we kind of went in a panic a little bit because we can't get in there to close the door to this refrigerator. It's like 3 a.m. and the owners live in Park City. The manager lives in Ogden, probably sound asleep. And here we have this refrigerator door open in a room we can't access. So Carrie ended up calling the manager, I believe. But anyway, tell the story of what happened, Carrie. I kind of did the summary of it. But
We've just up and down through the night investigating, had my camera, and through everything it was closed, and then all of a sudden we see a light in there, and it's open. And like you said, our main concern at the time was, crap, is the champagne or whatever in there going to go bad? How do we get in? So I did wind up calling, and I asked her if anything like this had happened before, and she said no, never. That, because I said, is it a bad seal on the door? Was there vibrations? Did it not get shut all the way to all these things? And she said, nope, nope, nope. And we did 3/4 of the night with it closed, and then it just opened. So, not saying that it's paranormal, but it's interesting. Did we lose?
Yeah, I think it's gone on mute.
No, I went mute. I didn't want to interrupt you as you were talking. So yeah, and it was just interesting because we all have fridges, right? And this was a fridge you could buy for your home or whatever. It wasn't necessarily. It was a big stainless steel fridge, but a very expensive one. But when we did, we went back another time after this one, and we asked if we could check the fridge out. They let us in the room. It has the magnetic strips on it, so it's like most fridges. The latch is the magnetic strip all the way around the door, so you actually have to. There's that quarter inch that you have to really pull hard to open it, and when it gets next to the metal it will close because of the magnetic strip along the door. And so we did test it a month or so later. I can't remember, Carrie, how long ago it was between investigations. There was no way that should have opened. It's like any fridge in your house. If it's closed, it takes somewhat of a pretty good force to open it, even though it's, only this quarter inch, half inch force, but you got to pull. And that's what type of fridge it was. So I got the video. Let me get it queued up. And so once we found it, this is what we did. We went and videotaped what just occurred. So let me get this in the stream here. And I'm the videographer on this, and I suck. So you can blame me for the quality of this.
What the hell going on? Well, here's what happened, guys, for my video. So this refrigerator just opened, and the dilemma, it wasn't open before. Well, this is not. Here's the door. To the room. It is locked. That was me. And you can see that this fridge is open. It wasn't just a half hour ago. And it's locked. We can't get to it.
Now, I know you were saying something about, looks like there's wines and champagne in there. Wasn't someone saying something when they were leaving that they were putting that stuff away?
Well, all I know is it wasn't open, so that's, but it could have been vibration. There's nothing we can do. The door's locked. So, I don't know, guys. Close the fridge.
Okay, so there you go. So me and Carrie have discussed this obviously many times. So Dave, I'm going to go mute here for a second. And so Dave, I want your take on this. I think we're all in agreement on how we would classify this. But so Dave, let's have your take, and then we'll have Carrie's take, and I'll be right back. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say if that's paranormal or normal or natural, because we just don't know enough about the place. We don't know enough about that kitchen area. Yeah, it's a it's a difficult one. We would probably chalk this one down to just unknown and just probably not.
It just came down to too is if you don't
Yeah.
see what's happening, I still think it's possible that they just didn't get it shut good enough.
Yeah,
You
the
know,
seal's just gone or something. Yeah,
some
yeah,
phrases will hold, and then with vibration or people going by it, that slight seal that's got it starts breaking, and then it starts to go open.
plus, I mean, it was all wood floors up there. Is that the kitchen downstairs?
No, that's the bar upstairs.
Upstairs, because I mean, it's all wood floors, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the bar
So could you have gotten some vibration from the other room, or I don't know. I don't know, Karen. Probably just chalk this one down to.
Yeah. No, we
an
wanted
unknown.
to go back and put, I don't know, maybe we did. It's been a while. And I think we did. I think we went and we put cameras on and audio and stuff just to see, then let it go. And I don't think we ever got anything else. So it was
Right.
interesting. It is an unknown. Yeah.
I think that's all we can say it is.
Yeah, if we were younger, we'd probably be like, "Oh, wow, paranormal happened." But
Demon. It's a demon.
At this stage in the game, it's
Yeah.
So there was a lot of vibrations coming from all over in that building.
You know, Karen, I think it does kind of, you know, as you evolve as investigators, it does kind of, you know, that was probably one of the earlier ones. Then you got like a couple of thousand later, you probably wouldn't even record it now. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, it's like every time you get a new investigator, it's like telling them you want to be aware of every sound, mark every sound, everything you feel wind wise. Look where your windows, your doors, you're out, everything. So it's just when we go back years after years, like the age, I just go blindfolded through that place.
Yeah.
I agree with everything. I mean, we would never label this as paranormal. I mean, obviously, some people would be tempted to, but it's
still want
what?
You still keep it as a reference if it happens again or whatever.
Yeah, and that's a key point, Carrie. You just keep. I mean, it's just gathering data. That's all we're doing. And if it occurs in the future, or if the client kind of commented that it was occurring a lot, then it was either a fault with the fridge, a fault with the flooring, or, I mean, as a last resort, you could probably call it something else. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the bottom line is we've never called that paranormal, nor would we. We always show this video because I think it's an interesting video, because stuff like this, when you're in a commercial, especially commercial, can happen in homes too, where things will happen and it's not that they're paranormal, but you still should document them. And that's the point of this, is that we documented it. It never happened. We were there over 20 times. That's the only time it happened. If it happened every time we were there, we wouldn't even pay attention to it, right? We would just go, "Oh, the fridge opened again."
You know, and I think, and I mean, I'm not suggesting this about Roosters at all, because they were genuine people. But I think, you know, some commercial properties may want the investigators to find things like that. So therefore, you know, just investigators have to be aware, you know, kind of what the intent is, what the and just to make sure that, what's that? Maybe you said it a bit.
You know, Dave, that's so true, because we investigated a location that's supposed to be one of the most haunted places around in Ogden. I'm just going to say it, the Exchange Building. And the lady at the time, she watched us investigate, and she came And we went back a couple times, and she flat out admitted to us that everything they had done was faked, and that when she gets investigators in there, that she would mess with lights, or she knew where high EMF stuff she could run would to throw them off to see. And
I think there's always have to be on that guard, don't they? Always have to be on that guard for, there could be some ulterior motives. Why investigators are called to the property, absolutely. But just, I'm not suggesting that at all about Roosters. That was a pretty.
No. There
They were
are
absolutely genuine people. Yeah.
We have come across them.
Yeah, Roosters was they're AAA. They really are. They were great people, and would never do anything. But anyway, this is in a way, this is an interesting thing, because our biggest thing wasn't that, oh, this was paranormal. We were freaked out because we couldn't get the fridge closed. We couldn't get access. We were all like worried about their wine and champagne. Yeah. So it,
2:33 in the morning, and I'm like, telling her, I'm not going to say her name, but I'm like, that is that going to go bad? I think the room was controlled room, air controlled too, wasn't it?
yeah, they kept the room, regular heating didn't run in there, I don't think, and it was their wine. I guess it's the closest thing they had to a wine cellar in a way.
Well, the thing is, though, is like we said, you want to take all these things, and you want to build your own little database or your encyclopedia of things, and you go back. And there's sometimes we've had gone places, and we've been there many, many years, and we capture something that's exciting and think, but then we go back through, see, because you made it so it all correlates, and you can look up, and it just takes time and effort and willingness to let it be done.
Just always got to keep an open mind. Always look for ulterior motives. You just got to gather data. Just gather and review data, and then build a picture from that.
Well, let's move on. I got a clip queued up. Now, this will be a good example of how noise contamination affects your audio. And this is the basement. And this was one of the more quiet moments the basement had. And so it's pretty noisy. There is an EVP in here. I don't know if anybody's going to be able to hear it, but we will give it a shot. Since this is live, let's just do it. Here we go, guys. So Carrie's down there, and Carrie, you had what I believe your arm was touched or grabbed, and there's a female voice right here. What do you guys think of this clip? This is the basement. You can hear the background noise, and guys, this basement was so loud at times. My audio was no good. I couldn't even listen to my audio because it was
too loud for your ears.
Yeah. So what do you think of this clip, Dave?
Yeah, I mean, if Carrie was down there by herself, I'm not sure if I was there on that one. If Carrie was down there by herself, and that's not Carrie's voice, then it's a clip,
Yeah, that's not Carrie. You can hear Carrie in the background. She's talking about being touched her arm, and then you hear what I hear is a female saying, "Yep." And I think this was one that Jerry was there. I think Jerry was down in the basement, and Carrie was talking to Jerry, and it might have been me also down there. She was explaining what occurred to her because you had a physical interaction apparently, Carrie. Do you want to? Do you
I
remember that?
don't actually remember which one, to be honest, because I've been there so many times. I would need more reference to.
Yeah.
It was about 10 years ago.
Pretty close. Actually,
Upstairs going to the basement, they would claim they would hear people talking and that, and then I think that's down at the basement, right at the bottom of the basement. There's a big cooler, like a big cooler, and then the other side had hops. And that, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah. And this was, just to let you know, Dave, this was January 20th of 2012.
Okay, so it was like 9 years ago.
Well, pretty close to 12. Yeah.
Again, I know what I've caught because I've heard it. It's losing a lot through this. So,
Well, let me.
no, but yeah, I wouldn't expect anybody to really hear or agree on it because the quality we're getting through isn't.
I think all these clips are on the website anyway, aren't they?
Yeah.
In the app, in the tool we've got.
Most of them are, yes. And let me play this again. But the reason I picked this one, I think it's the only one from the basement that I selected, and it's just to also demonstrate how noisy, because this is a good thing to understand that even if you get a legitimate EVP, the background noise and interference can cause havoc, right? I mean, and this is no longer a fantastic EVP. If it was clear and there wasn't all this background noise, this might be a fantastic EVP. So let me just play this section again. So we'll let. So any last thoughts on that one, guys? No.
No, it's just, I think it's just self-explanatory, but yeah, right. What Bob said was just, but you know what? But I think it's like most things, people hear their own thing, and that's a fair point from Bob. It's like you kind of hear. Some people hear different things. That's the beauty of EVPs, and that's why you got to be very careful not to.
So then,
jump to conclusions, I suppose. Yeah.
Then for like us, then if we don't agree, if we're hearing, we'll say, okay, we're hearing something. Is it a voice, bang, or breaking it down? I mean, I think there's times it just comes down to saying we hear something, but we don't know what it is. So it's not, but that's it. Or there's times when you can agree there's something being said, but no one can agree on what's being said. And then it's just like, okay, well, we all agree this is a male saying words. Yes. So, I mean, it's a problem.
Well, and I want to add, thank you, Bob, for telling us what you think. We want to encourage people in the chat
absolutely
to say what you think you hear. And EVPs are an interesting thing. It's our most it's what we capture the most of. And I guarantee almost any other group out there, if you do any type of legitimate investigating, EVPs will be the most will make up the most of your body of evidence as EVPs. But they range in such quality, from these little whispers and stuff that is really hard to hear to just clarity like we're talking now. I mean, there's a wide area as far as quality goes on EVPs. So I got another clip because, believe it or not, guys, it's we've been on for an hour and 5 minutes already, so we only got 25 minutes. So I got another. Time flies. It really does.
Does, yeah. Yeah.
So let me play this one. This is from the second floor. This one is really kind of all over the place. There's a voice right here. I'll just play that real quick. I'll play it again. So we'll start with Dave. What's your take on that one?
I don't know what that's saying, Cordell. I mean, if it's a vocalization, yeah, I can't really make it out from over in Scotland.
It probably loses a little bit
Probably.
all the way to Scotland. Yeah. Technology is wonderful. Carrie, what's your thoughts on that one?
Hearing it just like that, it just sounds like a noise, but getting closer, I can hear a higher pitch, but it
I'll
could
play it.
just be a noise.
Well, I totally understand.
At the same time, like two things happening at once.
Yeah, and I'll just play the EVP one more and then we'll move on to another clip. And I have another video to play too. This is weird. I mean, I have to admit this one, I don't know what to make of that one, guys. It's weird. If it's a vocal, I'm not even sure it's a vocalization, and I believe it to be a vocalization, but it's just strange.
Well, I would tell you to say it sounds like a girl saying "ow."
It almost does, and it really does, Carrie. I mean,
I know, but I don't think it is. I think it's.
and it could be out too. It could be a female.
Yeah, something like that.
So this is what we do a lot. So this one is strange. So Dave, if you had to make a call right now, is that a vocalization? Yes or no?
Could you play it again once more, please?
Oh, I just put it up. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm going to turn the volume up here because.
Okay. Let me get it set up again. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have turned it off. All right, here it is. Just the EVP part.
So could you play it longer, please, just so you get some context after?
Well, there's actually not much happening, but here you go. There's really not much happening in the clip other than that. So if you had to say, is that a vocalization, what would you say?
You know what? When I heard it kind of the second time or third time there, it may not be a vocalization.
So you're not sure it's
because the door kind of creaks and whether it's something caused by that creaking and closing of that door or something. Or I mean, or it is. Now that we've mentioned it, it's in my mind now that it's someone saying out, or ow, yeah.
When I heard it for the first time in a long time, I'm just sitting here thinking it's just a noise.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm like, well, then maybe there's someone saying out. But that's the game. Now it's like the chain starts. Everybody says, oh, yeah, ow or out. And
well, in my take on it, guys, is I'm not sure. And I really am not. And if it is a vocalization, I'd say it was a female. But it could be ouch or out but again, this is one of those and we get a lot of these. We talk about it all the time. We get more clips like this than we do cut and dry, right? Ones that are cut and dry and we don't have any, everybody agrees on.
It's clips like this where people will take, or any clip, and if you're not careful, they'll start hearing them and then they'll create a story for the location with these EVP clips that aren't
So,
really EVP clips.
so Carrie, I have to ask if that was a Ghost Adventures clip, what would they say?
Besides people or demon. Demon.
Yeah, it would probably be labeled demon. So
And
here,
they say, come feel so cold.
here's another one. This is a different investigation, but it's 9.5 years ago. Let's see if I got it set up correctly. I'm trying to get through.
Real quick, I'm just going to explain that one I said about the EVPs. If people are collecting EVPs and they think they're legit, and that can, like I said, that can create a whole different storyline for the location and almost create people there that were never there.
But I think we always agreed that we would clip everything which we couldn't kind of explain, just for future reference, you know.
Yeah. In doubt, you don't just jump on, oh yes, that was a girl said out. Oh, and then another clip, oh, she said her name's Shirley. And I think it's a way people fall into a trap of almost having to create a story behind a location, just
A
because
narrative.
the just because of the way the EVPs are handled. Or
Well, it's funny that I think you guys brought up a really good point that we could probably have a whole show on, is that it's like the house down the street in every neighborhood. Oh, it's haunted. There's already a storyline and narrative for that location. So then a couple people go to investigate everything they find. They're gonna, whether it's unconscious or consciously, they're gonna connect back and make it fit into the narrative that's being told about that location, right?
well, if they're not willing to break down an EVP and try to debunk it or question it or go back into past investigations to see if it correlates, sounds like, then you'll have false. It's just a lot of work you got to put into it. It's not just going, clipping something and saying, oh, here's a voice.
Yeah, but it's also building up a picture, isn't it? You know, you kind of gather data. Audio, audio is just one of them. Just to try, it's like building up a jigsaw, isn't it, on that location? And it is good. You know, I remember earlier I used to clip every single thing. Now I'm probably a bit more selective. But you clip everything just so you can kind of try. Even you could try to correlate. You know, that sound was picked up at that same time the week after. Or you could look at times. You could look at time of date. Dates. And you could kind of build a picture that way as well. So, I mean, my kind of advice to anybody watching or any investigators is, just clip what you want, and just reference it as an one, and it may mean something in the future.
You don't have to have an answer right then and there.
Yeah.
And Carrie, check the host chat. I just replied to you. I don't know when you sent that. Anyway, let's move on to this next one. And this one is on the second floor, and I don't remember what this one is. So let's do this one. Here we go.
What?
I'm just laughing because this one is, again, really kind of bizarre. And the EVP part is let me play this little section here. Let me move it. Okay, here we go. Because this part right here is the carry on the walkie, I believe. And then there's like this weird voice that responds next to the recorder. So let me just play this section and then the weird voice right here. It's almost like hello. Or get, well, I guess it could be get out. All right. So, Dave, what's your take on that one?
Yeah, Cordella. Yeah, I don't know, mate.
I know you probably can't hear it very well, but
Yeah. It's. I mean, it's. It is. When you listen to a lot of EVP, it does kind of take. I think once you start hearing an EVP, you can hear them a lot clearer all the time. It is a bit of an art listening to EVPs. I think in terms of trying to pick something out, but yeah, that could be a noise. It could be a vocalization. I don't know.
Carrie, what's your take on that one?
I'd have to hear it again.
Oh, I just shut it off. Sorry.
I don't think. Sorry, I'm struggling. My eyes are hurting really bad, so I'm not focusing.
I thought it was a hyena at first. When all that. But that must have been
someone like belching.
somebody on the radio.
Like
The what?
bleh.
Oh. Okay, this next one, since we're running out of time here, and it's just amazing how fast the time goes. And so this one's a video. And again, I can't control the audio. People, you guys might not hear it very well, but what the hell? Let's try it and see what happens. So let me move this. You ready, guys?
Yeah.
Let me do it full screen since it's a video. And this, I believe, is on the 3rd floor where we actually got the most activity over the years.
Yeah.
You guys probably can't hear that, can you?
I can hear the creaking of the floorboards.
But you can't hear the moan.
Well, I can hear something. Yeah.
Let me play it. Let me play it again. It sounds like one word. It almost sounds like a moan. And Dave, you were on this investigation.
Yeah. I remember because the audio recorder picked it up a lot clearer.
Yeah.
I wonder if you've got that one.
I don't have it. I don't think you ever uploaded it to the member site.
Sorry.
Yeah, if you didn't upload it, I don't have it. But
sorry, bud.
But no, I remember. That's why I'm playing this.
Yeah, it was a lot clearer on the audio. I remember.
And
it's a male voice.
It's a male voice saying at least one word.
Yeah.
And it was on the 3rd floor in the hallway there. And it was Carrie, me, you, somebody else was there.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but anyway, we only got like 10 minutes left. I got like 10 other pieces of evidence, but I don't think we're going to make it through it.
Coyle, I mean, do you have that
could be Bob?
Yeah. Do you have that kind of by that trapdoor into the basement or some of that old lady? That was a pretty clear EVP. That.
Yeah. Well, it probably won't show up very well on here. Let's see here.
Because out of Roosters, that's the only real EVP I remember.
Well, here's what we'll do, guys, because we're running out of time. So I think what we ought to do is sum this up, and we'll have to revisit Roosters and play some more of the evidence. Some of what I played here was marginal to medium, and it's just not coming through on the broadcast very well. But that's life. So since we have about 9 minutes left,
I'm
Dave,
sorry. Did I hear?
what?
Did you hear a girl?
No. Did you hear a girl, Dave?
No. And no. Well, what do you mean, Carrie? Just now or on the clip?
No, just now.
On the broadcast.
Yeah.
No. No.
7.
Well, all I'm gonna say, guys, is we've had strange things happen on the broadcast before. Some would actually call them paranormal things happen on the broadcast. It's like some people keep telling me I have a cat behind me. I don't have a cat. I don't own a cat. I don't know why people keep saying I have it, because there's nothing here. Nothing. There's no cat. No cat.
There's nothing in here.
Yeah, there's no cat here. Yeah, so anyway, so what we're gonna have to do. Oh, we're getting a lot of echo. We're
Yeah,
getting,
now we are.
we're getting tons of echo. That's anyway. So what we'll do is we're gonna have to revisit Roosters at some future point. We have Dave. I know you have a lot of evidence.
Yeah.
Carrie has more, and I have more. And we didn't play some of our better pieces. I was hoping to get to them and everything, but we don't have 3 hours to go through all of it. But so we'll visit it again. So Dave, real quick, what's your summary of a place like Roosters?
Yeah. Okay. So summary: very historical, great bar, great location. I know Ogden's an exciting little city. I think from an investigation perspective, a lot of external noise, shadow play, and a lot of appliances, which give off a lot of noise. I know that was like an ice machine kept going off regularly and things like that. I remember.
I have to say, wait a minute. I have to say, the first time that went off at 2 a.m. when I was there the first time, it scared the shit out of me.
Yeah.
I jumped when I heard
Yeah.
that. Go ahead.
So I think all the appliances, an interesting location, and I think probably people will see what they want to see or hear what they want to hear. You know, it is quite atmospheric, you know, because you're in Ogden City. You know, but I think for me, I remember that third floor well. I remember that we were in the room and we actually heard the vocalization along the corridor as well. And I know we also had the video camera, and you caught something and I recorded at the same time. So there was definitely a vocalization, a male vocalization up there from what I remember. But the best EVP we got was that old woman sounded like an old woman down by the trap door behind the bar. And that was very clear. But yeah, I would give it a. I mean, out of 10, I would give it like a 3, 4 out of 10. From a kind of a paranormal perspective, mainly because you've got to really, we always arrive late, tired, and I think a lot of external sound factors and light factors which you just need to be aware of. I think.
I did want to mention one thing before Carrie, because Carrie, maybe you can talk a little bit. We did see some weird green light anomalies on the second floor along the ceiling and wall, and I think Dave, you experienced some of that because we kind of forgot about that. So I just wanted to get it in real quick, and there were multiple people reported these little green lights. But anyway, go ahead, Carrie.
Yeah, Curry and I saw a shadow walk across the hall. No Roosters. Yeah, I'm gonna say kind of what Dave's saying. Great place, great location, great people. If you're gonna go there and approach this, be respectful, please. As for the paranormal, I do believe there's some stuff going on there. For me, third floor seemed to get more results. Back a second, Dave, yeah, the trap door and that. But I think it's also a location that you just can't go into one time, get all these EVPs, and then have a story, simply because you don't know the building. There is so much contamination. Smells, hearing, high EMF, vibrations on the floor, everything. But like what Dave says and what we say is collect everything. When you go through it, try to rationalize it, make a database, and ask to go back. So don't just come up with your conclusion on a one trip try. And don't go by what others say, go by what you're finding.
And so, what would you rate this of 0 through 10?
Just for the paranormal, 3.
Okay. So here's my take. I think Roosters. To me, it was always like sliced bread, guys. That the third floor was one separate thing. Second floor had some stuff that wasn't necessarily associated with the first or third floor. It was literally like taking a loaf of bread and slicing it. And I think that's what Carrie and Dave, you both are talking about, is a location, especially if it's a 120-year-old building. There could be so many layers to it, and you might only experience one of those layers in multiple investigations. You might experience three. Um,
Or they
and
might
that's
experience
good.
separate. Each investigator might get a separate.
They might, and that brings up a good point too, Carrie. Is that I think if you go to a location enough, each individual gets attracted or to an area of that location. I like the third floor myself. I spent a lot of time on the third floor, which we all did, but I didn't like the basement. It was just so high in EMF and so noisy. Spent very little time. But I think it's like a loaf of bread, and you're just slicing these layers and trying to figure it out. I would give it a 4 on the paranormal. I think we all had experienced a lot of things, and contrary to what we played here, we do have some really good clips. And the video, guys, of the guy saying "excuse me" is just a class A clip.
It's
It's so crystal clear. Um, so there is activity there. Um, and I think it's a wonderful place. And like Carrie said, you need to always be respectful of these places. But um, it's really hard, guys. And I'd like your comments on this, because if this building had been occupied by one type of commerce and it was in the same family for 120 years, it might be easier to dissect and to understand. But when a building has been 7 different businesses owned by 11 different people live there, different throughout the decades, I think that's what makes it so tough. How do you dissect that? How do you figure out what's going on in a place with that much history? So, Dave, what's your thoughts?
Correll, I think you're right. It's I think that's why, as investigators, we have to just gather data, kind of build up that jigsaw puzzle. We gather as much history as we can. just to understand the building and it's kind of how it's evolved. Yeah, I think all we can do is gather data and kind of present it. Everyone looks at it differently. Two people can hear one EVP and come up with a different that says something different. I think you just got to. All we can do is gather data and present it in a format that for others to kind of either utilize, or kind of correlate with something there other investigators are finding. But yeah, it's probably it is one of the lower ones we've investigated compared to the other locations we've done in kind of Wyoming, Salt Lake, etc.
Okay, good take, Dave. Carrie, thoughts on all that?
Yeah, I think we're all in the same boat. It's just go slow. There's no rush to get in there and try to capture all these great things, and yet you're missing the small things or the things that are going to be your clues. So clip and record everything, time everything. It's better to have too much than not enough. And yeah, you can go back and say, oh, I've caught this noise on every investigation. It's like Dave said, you're building a database, and at some point you're going to hit one EVP that's going to be like golden. But take your time and go in expecting that you're going to have to clip a lot and listen, and don't think you're just going to walk out right then and there with answers. Or
Okay,
you know,
good take. Well, we're at the end of the show. We're a couple minutes over, and that's okay. But I think this is a place that sometime in the future we'll revisit and um, display some more evidence and stuff. And there's tons of stories from here because we did it so many times. And I want to thank everybody that's been listening or that will listen. And
Bob,
yeah, Bob and Katie, thank you. Good seeing you. Well, it's good seeing your names. Like,
there.
yeah, your names and stuff. And I'm not sure what we'll do next week. We'll have to think about it. We might do another investigation, or we might just do a topic. And who knows? We'll surprise everybody, including ourselves, I think. Go ahead,
Hey,
David.
Cordell, unless there's any suggestions, does anyone want to hear anything or discuss anything?
Exactly. And those that listen to, even if you listen to this 3 days from now, go
See,
ahead
Bob.
and go ahead. Oh, Bob's leaving already?
Hey, look, I want to address something, and it's all these apps that are coming out on the phone. I actually bought 2 of them so that we could show the necro app, and then another one is supposed to be the toolkit, has your SLS, it has everything. I actually bought it just so that I could use it to show people, and then it's an entertainment thing. It's just entertainment.
Yeah.
But I think because they charge like $10. I had to really think about what did I want to throw $10 away for one, and that.
Yeah, that's certainly not worth it.
No, but I think that's something we should cover, because I think a lot of people get sucked into that and they believe that this is the answer, and they've got everything from Ovilus to packet deals, $15 to get the Vox and all this other stuff. So I think these apps and that, I think, are something we could talk about.
No, that would be an interesting conversation. Of course, we might end up being hated by those that put the apps out, but that's okay because we don't have a. And I'll just and, well, and just to say it up front, I don't think any of us are big fans of those type of things, and there, and it's not just because we just don't like them. It's just there's some practical reasons too why
That's why I think And this is the topic we need to address.
Yeah.
And then I
so-
think,
Yeah, we could do a live app EVP session. How's that?
and then I think this is a good way too for Dave to kind of break down the,
Oh, yeah. Certainly break it down.
yeah, just as to why, because you'll see people using it on the YouTubes and shows, and it's go buy them. And I'm like, everybody's using this, everybody's ranting about this, and people are making a killing on it. But I think it's something I think we should talk about.
I think that would be a great topic. Maybe we'll do that next week, and depend how prepared we can get in all our busy lives and stuff. Because we'd have to prepare for that one, and yeah, we'd have to do some preparation. And be honest with you guys, so far we haven't done very much preparation, and I don't know, it probably shows on the broadcast, but that's okay. Yeah, like zero preparation.
It's completely real. That's the difference.
Well,
It's real.
very true, and I've said this many times, guys, because I've watched. Because if you do YouTube, they have all these tutorials, and they show you all this stuff to be successful on YouTube. And one of the things that we totally have never done is that you're supposed to sketch out your broadcast. You're supposed to plan it all out and script it and know everything you're going to say and do and all this. And I think, well, one, that's a hell of a lot of work. Two, sounds really boring. Well, it's really boring. I would rather much have a spontaneity, and for us just to talk about whatever. And if we make gaffes or say something inappropriate, so be it. I don't care. And it's like Dave just said, this is real. We don't script this out. And I know people are going, well, no crap. I can tell you don't script it out. But here's the difference, guys. We admit it, right? We admit it. We don't script this out. This is us. So anyway, no, Carrie, that would be a great show. Maybe we will plan on doing that next broadcast. We'll have to actually try to put some work into it, because we got to get at the apps and how they function and what they do. Yeah. And I think it's a great idea Dave had too, is that we could show them live and actually show them live how they function. And yeah, anyway, we'll do that. Anyway, we're getting later than, which is okay. It's great seeing you, Dave. Great seeing you, Carrie. I had a great time on this one. But I think the one thing I want to say about Roosters, the last thing I will say, is that I think it's great to show these type of investigations, because a lot of investigations are this way. They're almost sublime in some ways. There's not a lot of activity. You capture stuff. You have a couple things happen, enough that makes you want to go back. But it's not like the shows that, it's not running amok with demons and things are being thrown and people are being scratched. This is how a lot of investigations are. Rooster's a good example of that. All right. We are going to end this. What quick last thoughts, Dave? 2 sentences or less, then Carrie.
On Roosters, or just in general?
In general, anything you want. This isn't scripted, buddy. Go for it.
No. As I've said, just there wasn't a lot out there when we, even for us just to find out what kind of phenomenon had been captured at certain locations and things. There wasn't a lot out there. So hopefully investigators, in Utah or whatever, could use this and if they want to investigate roosters and they get permission, obviously be respectful, but it may be helpful to them.
Okay.
Just use some source material. But I think next time we need to put some of the better clips on it.
Yeah. We will, and we'll revisit this one. Carrie, last quick thoughts.
Yeah. As a person that deals with clients and that, be very respectful, and if you go to approach and if you get told no, then no is no. But I just want to see people going in who are wanting to actually investigate to try to find things, and not those who are going in for a quick thrill or the alarm hour or whatever. I want to see some people go in, like Dave said, and try to build. And hopefully the next group that comes in, or a year down the road or something, that we can all kind of put it together and say, hey, we're building something.
Yeah, no, I very good thoughts, guys. I agree. And I do want to say this is that other groups have investigated roosters, multiple groups. We're definitely not the only ones. I would love to hear from other groups and see what stories they have and where are their hot spots and et cetera, because that's what Carrie is saying is and
We were
Dave.
one of the first.
The what?
We were one of the first.
Yeah, but the idea is to build on and try to share information. But I also wanted to show this one because this is a typical invest location, guys. It's not running rampant with all kinds of activity. Anyway, and let's say good night or good afternoon, depending on
Good night, Dave.
where you're at. And also, again, happy Valentine's Day to everybody. And that includes you too. And so don't leave, by the way, when you say goodbye. Um, Dave, go ahead. Say good night in your case.
Yeah, good night, everyone. I'll have a lot of fun. See you next week.
Carrie.
Good night, Dave. Give Lisa and kids a hug. And yeah, next week.
Yep, and good night, everybody. And please click subscribe in our YouTube channel. It helps us. We have lots of videos to listen to, and we'll have more be uploading all the time. And I want to thank everybody for taking your time out of your day to listen to us, even if it's tomorrow or 2 weeks from now. Anyway, good night, guys. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.